The only place that you can really be happy is in the here and now. So I'm going to start with a quote. Happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. And that quote is by Dennis Waitley. And I start with that because when we think of the here and now, I remember being at a retreat, and this woman talked about another retreat she had been at. And while they were there, the only thing they could talk about is what was going on right now. And I thought, wow. And I literally said to her, there must have been a lot of silence. Because think about it. What do we normally talk about to people? We are lots of stuff, but we complain, we worry, we go into anxiety, none of which is happening right here and right now. If we're talking about somebody else, or if we're talking about something that has happened to us, it's in the past, right? It's not here and now, it's in the past. If we're worried about our future, what's going to happen, am I going to have a job? Am I ever going to meet the person I love? It's all in the future. And yet we have a lot of anxiety and fear that we attach to that. And so it's to pull that into the here and now. Right here, right now. And so to really, because if that's, I think, is there somebody in here that doesn't want to be happy? Yeah, I think everybody wants to be happy. It's what we strive for. And yet, as humans, it seems to be ever elusive, right? We get it fleetingly. You get that new car. Oh my God, it smells good. You climb in it and you put your foot on the gas and it goes. It's fabulous. And a year later you climb into it, it's just a car. Right? It's just a car. Truth was, it was just a car when it was brand new. We attach to it, right? We attach our happiness to things. But what if happiness isn't about things? What if happiness is about being in the here and now? And so how do we do that? And I found somebody online that had 5 easy steps. And I'm going to share those with you because I thought, brilliant. Because I was like, really, how do you stay in the here and now? Because if you want to really break it down, you can't really stay in the here and now because it's always moving, right? Every moment's in the past. You never get to the future, and the past, anyway, you could drive yourself crazy trying to figure out, but anyway, he had 5 steps, and I loved them, and I thought that I would share them with you because they very much align to what we teach here, and I think what we teach here is practical spirituality. Tell me how to use this philosophy. I can read what Ernest Holmes said, as you can. How do I take that, bring it to 2021, and use it in my life? That's what I think we want to know. How do I use this? That song, Use Me, is perfect, right? How do I use this? So the first step that he talks about is having a gratitude practice. Oh, surprise! Did you not know that was going to be one of the 5? However, I like this practice probably because I'm doing it. And what I do is I set an alarm on my telephone. I do it for 10 minutes. You can do it for 5. You could start out with a minute. And I literally write out my gratitudes every single morning. I am so grateful. And it's like a stream of consciousness. You just write. Because there is something about the activity of pen to paper. Yes, you could type them into your computer if you want to. That's fine. There's still some engagement going. Um, th- Psychologists have said, though, that we give up a lot when we give up putting pen to paper. You will remember more. This is a side thing that has nothing to do with your happiness. However, um, buy a planner and literally write down. I know my cell phone, my cell phone goes off probably every 15 minutes to a half hour with little alarms that remind me what I'm supposed to do. And yet psychologists say if you'd write it down, you'd probably remember. So I've actually got a planner because I'm going to give that the old college try, if you will. So you set the timer and you just live stream, live stream. You hopefully you're alive while you're streaming this consciousness. You stream consciousness of what you're grateful for. Right? Every single day. Every single day. Just imagine how your life would change if you started your morning in gratitude. Because here's the thing, what we teach here, is it not, that we are attracting to us all the time through the energy of how we are on the planet. So if you want to experience joy, then gratitude is going to bring you up to that energy where you're going to attract joyful people into your life. If you're going to sit in a pool of victimhood, and trust me, I've been there, I used to swim in it all the time, I attracted people to me that liked to swim in that consciousness. Right? Like attracts like. And so if you want your day to be different, start it out with a gratitude practice. Now, for some of you who are like, I'm fortunate because I get to work at home. So even though I get up before many of you, I still have, I have time that I can spend in my spiritual practice before I actually start my day. If some of you think, I don't have time, the encouragement would be get up earlier. You were hoping I was going to tell you could do it later in the day, weren't you? Yeah, no. It's that important. Get up 10 minutes earlier. Come on, 10 minutes. Anybody can do 10 minutes earlier. Right? All right, so gratitude. That was the first one. Second one, not my favorite. Physical activity. And I do physical activity. It's something that I don't do every single day. And the idea is our brain is so powerful that when you are in physical activity, your brains make endorphins. And endorphins is like your own little shot of happiness, right? Why wouldn't you want that? Do you know that is why runners run eventually? They start out running because they want to do a marathon or whatever. And then runners, eventually, it's like a drug to them. Most runners, when they really are running on a regular basis, they can't take a day off. Because if they do, they realize in their body something's different. Something's not right. I don't feel like I felt yesterday, and they'll go run. So physical activity, our bodies are so dang smart that we should be using it. And if it's like, it's painful to walk. Okay, walk a little bit. My friend Carol, first of all, right now, can't leave her apartment. And so she finds a way to walk back and forth from her kitchen to her living room, from her living room to her kitchen, just to get some exercise. Our body needs to move, or it will stop moving, right? And our brain is part of what makes us happy. When I went into a treatment center, they said that the drug I did a lot of cocaine at one time in my life, and they said what cocaine would do is it would manufacture fake endorphins in my head. And you know how smart your brain is? When you're making fake endorphins, it's like I don't have to work anymore. I won't make endorphins. And so she said, Gayle, the longer that you are clean and sober, the more you will start to experience happiness that's being made in your brain by itself. How many of you have seen Weekend at Bernie's? Here's how I knew I was healthy. When they were dragging, when they were dragging Bernie behind the boat and he was bouncing around because he was dead. I have never laughed so hard in my life. I was crying, and then I was crying from the pure joy to realize all of that emotion was me. It was just me. It wasn't induced by anything. That's how smart our bodies are. That's why physical activity should be part of your spiritual practice. You know, what he said is just walk around your block once. Just once. If you're not doing anything, just walking around your block once is something more that you're doing, more than you're doing right now. Okay, I said that the last one, I was kind of teasing because I do walk. I go for walks with people and we do over 10,000 steps. So I get in some physical activity. This one, I was like, hell no. But I'm going to do it, just so you know. Eliminate all distractions from your life. 15 minutes to an hour. I'm going to try 5. Stop it. My husband is like, he's laughing hysterically. What that means, if people are wondering, like, why is Paul laughing? It means shut off your cell phone, your TV, your computer, your radio, all noise. Shut it off. So I will tell you, in my spiritual practice, you know what's sitting right next to me is my cell phone. So every once in a while, in the middle of my spiritual practice, regardless of what step I'm in, I can pick up my cell phone and go, oh, that's interesting, and then go down that rabbit hole. And so starting tomorrow, during my spiritual practice, everything goes off. And that's huge for me, because I don't think my cell phone, I had to ask Bernie actually where the off button was, because it had never been shut off. And he knew because he had to ask his daughter, Laura. So you can laugh at me, you can laugh at Bernie too. But just think about it. To just shut off all that outside noise. Everything electronic, shut it down. I'm probably going to be calling, well, I can't call people, I'm going to have things shut down. Okay, if you feel the energy of panic tomorrow, right around 6, it's me going, oh. But I know I can do this, and I know it's good for me. And so I invite you to shut down everything so you're not distracted by anything, right? Because when you're distracted in any given moment, you're giving up your power. Do you know how much of my power I give up to something that is like this big? Seriously. It's an addiction I have, and I know it, and I'll own it, and it's something I need to work on. I don't know about you guys, but it is like, I remember, I don't know how many of you watched Social Dilemma, and one of the guys that worked at Google and knew how Google operated realized when he got home what he was doing, and that was going in the closet and checking his cell phone. Knew how bad it was for him. Knew how they were, how they sucked him in. And yet he's human, and it's designed to suck in. And I said Google, all social media is designed to suck us in. And so just to take a break. 5 minutes. He actually started at 15. 15 minutes to an hour. We'll see. I promise that I will practice tomorrow. Don't text and ask, because I won't be able to respond. Hopefully, I won't be able to respond. The fourth one is practice giving. And I know that some people immediately go to, oh, now she's going to talk about giving financially. Nope. I'm talking about practice giving of yourself. Your time and your talent. Your smile. Your thank yous. Your compliments. Being with a friend when they need you the most. That's really giving of self, right? And I don't want to dismiss people that give to this community. That is important for us to be a community. However, for me, it's really easy for me to write a check to something, right? To give money to something. That is the easiest form of giving, and it's a good form of giving. However, when you give of yourself, that's when you make that connection heart to heart, soul to soul with somebody. When you can really use that, God gave you two ears and one mouth for a reason. So you could spend time listening. You could spend time in communion with another person. Common union. How kind of us just to listen to another person. I'm fortunate because I have somebody that I pray with every single day, which means I get to be with somebody every single day. However, it's still important to me to spend time when I go to the grocery stores to recognize and to notice people that are stocking the shelves. To recognize and notice the person that's waiting on me. You know, I shared this story before, I think, that Mary Morrissey talked about, because she does a gratitude practice in the morning and then she does a reflection at night where she reflects on her day and says, what could I have done better? You know, if I could do it over again. And she realized that somebody called her, and it was a call she felt she had to take, and she's at the grocery store, and so she's talking to this person, and evidently I do this because maybe she didn't have a Bluetooth, I don't know. But she is so involved in this conversation that she goes through the line, goes home, does her dinner, and when she climbs into bed, she's like, I have no idea who waited on me at the grocery store. I don't know if it was male or female. I have no idea. I was so absorbed in this conversation that I forgot about what was right in front of me. How many of you have done that before? My husband would say a little too often, because he gets to put up with my bad habits of spending too much time instead of focusing on what's right in front of me, right? We get that draw. And I'm not dissing technology. It's important. I personally love it. And still, it should be, am I going to say this right? It should be a means to a way. Is that correct? It's not the way. You know, it's something to use, and yet to make sure that I don't misuse it. And I would say I am the poster child for misuse when it comes to my cell phone. I'll just own that. Maybe it's because I grew up with AT&T, so I've been on a computer since I was 18. I don't know. That's an excuse, isn't it? I'll own that. Probably has more to do with my addictive behaviors. And so those aren't the 5 steps. That was 4. The 5th one, and this to me is probably one of the most important, is to really spend recognizing and appreciating the beauty of this planet. I had said, it hasn't happened this time, and I'm not going to let it happen, because I know, for one, Karen Williams would never let me do it. I used to come back to Seattle and I'd get so excited about the mountains. And oh, Mount Rainier is so beautiful, and the Olympic Mountains are so beautiful. And then, I grew up here. I was born here. And after a while, I'd become complacent. But it's kind of like somebody who walks in to a new group and it's brand new to them and they're so excited. Hang out with somebody like Karen, who's not from here, who didn't grow up here, and watch her scream with glee when Mount Rainier is out. Literally, she does scream with glee. And it reminded me to appreciate the world around me. It's a gift that she gave me. And so now whenever I see Mount Rainier, I always go, yeah, I don't know if I'm screaming, but I get excited now when I see the mountain. I appreciate the rain because it gives us the green. We spend, I'm not supposed to say we, because somebody out there will be, I don't do that. I spend way too much time recognizing what is wrong instead of appreciating what is right. And so you start by really recognizing the beauty. And there's even a deeper reason to do that. This planet is over 13 billion years, or life itself, 13 billion years, they're saying. Everything came into existence from nothing to energy. And the thing is, scientists say we're all energy, right? Did you know that energy can't be created or destroyed? So if that's true, if you believe that, if you follow that concept, then your energy is 13 billion years old. And so to realize, do you disagree, Cynthia? Oh, the planet is? Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I read that somewhere, so I'm not, that you're right. Somebody else just said, no wonder they're so tired. So, whether or not, it's the same concept, right? If energy is infinite, it always has been, it always will be. It's never going anywhere. And what we teach here is we are part of that, then we are infinite, right? You always have been, you always will be, regardless of what your form is. And so to really practice, because if you want to be in the here and now, which is where your happiness is, then you need to practice some just basic ways to be in the world. I would bet the person that I always think of when I think of somebody who is really, really happy all the time, I think of the Dalai Lama. I would bet he has a pretty good spiritual practice, right? I would bet he stays in the here and now. One thing he didn't talk about that I know the Dalai Lama does, he practices forgiveness, especially against, the Chinese government that came in and forced him out of his country. He's practiced forgiveness. He holds no harm. Wow, if I could be there. So I want to talk to you also about another practice that I think is important that wasn't part of the 5. So just to go through the 5 so you can remember them. Gratitude, 10 minutes in the morning. Physical activity, even if it's just walking around the block. If you can do more, do more. Do something every single day. Get rid of your distractions, 15 minutes to an hour, right? Which means shut off everything. Even if it's downstairs, like you got a TV downstairs and you're upstairs doing your spiritual practice, Gayle, turn off the TV downstairs too. Turn it all off. No distractions. None of that energy that they say gets transmitted through all of our electronics. Shut it all down. 4 is noticing the beauty. No, that was the 5th one. Hang on. She forgets. 4 is find a way to give. Thank you. Find a way to give. Give of yourself. Yes, financial giving is fabulous. I highly recommend it here at Genesis. And giving of yourself. And then notice the beauty around you. Those are the 5. And then if you really want to, I don't know if I want to call it up your game. Miracle Morning, how many of you have heard of it? There's a book out by Hal Enrod called Miracle Mornings. And I heard about it 2 years ago. I bought the book, put it on my bookshelf, because that's what I do with books that I hear about. I put them on my bookshelf, and then I wait for the book to go, okay, now it's time. And it usually takes 2 or 3 people to start telling me about, have you heard about Miracle Morning? And this time, it was a group of people that said, we're going to do the Miracle Morning every single morning. Do you want to be part of our accountability group? And I thought, well, that's a good way for God to hit you up alongside the head that you should read that book, Gayle. And so it is a practice. He calls it savers. There's actually 6 steps, very similar. You're going to see a similarity to the 5. And it only takes an hour. He said you can do this every day before 8 a.m. Unless you get up at 8 a.m. That would be hard. But an hour. And again, what he says, like most people say, if you want your life to shift and you think, I can't get up earlier, you don't want your life to shift. You know, I don't have time to do my spiritual practice. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So the first S is silence. Spend 10 minutes. There you go. See? Turn off all distractions. 10 minutes in silence. Just listen. The A, affirmations, gratitudes. Write down your gratitudes. Set a timer, 10 minutes. Write down your gratitudes. He actually, in the savers, it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do your gratitude. I decided to do 10. The V, visualize. What is it you want your life to look like? Because if you spend time visualizing, you're sending to the universe, this is what I want my life to look like. And your subconscious mind and the universe are going to go, okay, we could do that. Otherwise, don't visualize, and your life is going to continue to happen to you. Because one of 2 things, you're either engaged and you're making your life happen, or you're sitting back and your life is just coming at you. And it's your choice, right? So visualize 5 minutes. The E is exercise, 20 minutes. Back to do some physical activity. He says 20 minutes. The R is read something for 10 minutes. Read something that's uplifting, not just anything. Read something. Preferably in a book. Don't be reading your favorite news channel. Don't be reading Facebook. We're talking about, a book, whatever book. Like if it's a fiction book, but it pulls you out of any of your stress and takes you on a journey, then read that. But read something for 10 minutes every day. Who doesn't have 10 minutes to read, right? 10 minutes. And the last one, I think because he wanted the S, so he calls it scribing. Instead of 10 minutes, journal. And it can be a free flow journal, or it can be a diary type journal. Just write for 10 minutes. It is a succinct way, I believe, to do your spiritual practice and get your exercise in all at the same time, which the more we learn about the brain, exercise should be part of your spiritual practice. That is how you should count it. Whether it's walking out in the beauty of nature or in the comfort of your own home, it's important to your brain, and it's important to your body temple that you use it. What was that? Move it or lose it? So there's some truth in all of those old sayings. So those are savers. Or you've got the 5, whichever you choose. That is how we use the science of mind teaching practically. Every one of those things that I have talked about, every single one of them is in the science of mind, spirituals and practices and principles, what we teach, how you connect with the divine, how you connect with that inner source of knowing. It's how we use this philosophy and why it's important. It's great to listen to me or to Reverend Bernie or to one of the practitioners talk about it. The juice comes, the gifts come when you start to live it, when you start to really believe, oh my goodness sakes, I'm God in form. What does that mean? How do I behave? How do I be happy? So now you have 5 steps. Let's pray. Mother, Father, God, Spirit, right here and right now, as me, as everyone sitting here, everyone watching, everything, everywhere, for I know that one life that is God is whole, complete, and perfect, and it is in and through and as all things everywhere. It is that power, that presence. It is that energy that pulls us forward into life and magnificence. And so I know right here and right now that connection, not only to it, I know that connection to each person sitting here, each person if they're watching online now or in the future, that energy just rolls out and touches a heart that I may or may not know, that you may or may not know. And so we take what we know to be true, the words of Ernest Holmes, our science of mind teaching, and we live it on a day-to-day basis. Not from a sense of Pollyannishness, if that's a word, but from a sense of embodiment, that life just is. The meaning that I put on it is my meaning. And so I'm a choice in everything I do and say and think. And so today, I choose to know the one life that is God is me. I choose to speak from a place of loving kindness. Much like the meditation this morning, to bless not only myself with loving kindness, not only those that I love and adore with loving kindness, to bless all people everywhere, whether I know them or not, whether I like them, love them or not. May they be blessed. May they feel the love of me. May they feel the love of this community. May they know that they too are God in form. That place within them, even if it's just a tiny flicker, is filled with so much light and love. And so I give great, great thanks for this day. I give great, great thanks for aligning myself with the truth of the divine as me. I give thanks for everyone who chooses to do the same. I give thanks for those who don't. For staying in a place of a grateful heart can only raise the vibration of who I am. And by raising the vibration of who I am, it raises the vibration of the planet. And for that, I give great thanks. I release all of these words knowing that as it is spoken, it is done. The universe, God, ascended masters, angels, guides have all said yes. They await us to call them, and then they respond. And so with that, as I release these words, I know they're pressed down and acted upon by that divine wisdom, made manifest and whole in the mind of God. And now for me, is to step into that alignment so I can receive. And so with that, I release, I let go, and together we say, and so it is.
Choice to sit it out or dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some foolish heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice